So this will be a review of all the mods and cool gear that I've gotten. Rad Rover 5 step through. And the first thing I sort of covered before, it's the kind of the security that I have, for the bike. And what I do is, first of all, I've got a camera that triggers, sends stuff to the cloud in case anybody wants to break in here. Got a camera on the other side of the thing as well. Almost impossible to open this garage door without key coding it in. So I got two Rad Rovers. Let me show you a couple goodies here. First of all, there's this thing, which comes up here, which is really an inexpensive thing from Amazon that allows me to lift this monster up and put it on that stand. And I found I can do it without this, but my muscles hurt for 2 or 3 days afterwards. This is just easy peasy. Pull it up, pull that thing over, bring it underneath, and you're ready to go. I've used it a bunch of times so far. Okay, some of the stuff that I've gotten for this thing. Well, a little bit more about security. I've got embedded down there, I think there's like 3 or 4 screws that go into the concrete. Really tough to break out of that. Just for grins, I've got a kryptonite, is it a New York lock on the wheel frame. I also turn off the battery when I park it in here. And then I've got this cool Juiced Bikes horn. I think I had it set up right. So if somebody starts fiddling with it, I got that. Got a little remote control to go with it. It's all pretty cool. When I go out on rides, I'll bring the A-Bus heavy chain lock in my bag back here, and I'll lock that up with the alarm. But I'll still try to always keep it in sight because I just don't want to ever have it stolen. I've had regular bikes stolen in the past. I don't want to have this bike stolen. Not so much that it costs a lot, which it does, but it took a while of waiting to get it here. One of the downsides with this bike is it's real popular and it takes a long time to come over from China on a boat, and the COVID gets involved with it, and I just don't, if somebody stole this, I would probably be without a bike for a few months. And that would suck, especially when the weather's nice, like right now. I did not come stock, but I did have the Rad Power rack on there, and then I had these older Ortlieb waterproof panniers, and I bought a kit for them that put in bigger hook sizes right there. I found out that rather than riding around with that, my wife likes to have those, so she took one of them. And then over here, I like the ability of just pulling this thing off and having easy access to the bag. And what I carry in here is, like I said, that one lock. And there's first aid kits in here. One of my favorite, the bleed stopper. I also have one that just has regular Band-Aids, but if I ever fell down and had a serious accident, hopefully this will keep me alive until an ambulance arrives. And I've got tools in here for anything I want. I've got an electric air pump. I have these things for doing a little bit more serious work. You put them on the handlebars, and then you can turn them upside down. Tire patch repair kit. Just a regular utility knife. This is my air pump pre-charged. It will fully inflate from empty tires all the way up to 20 pounds or so. and then it's out of juice. It also works as a backup battery. I think I keep an extra mask in here. There's an extra tube, extra eyeglasses. Keeps the bugs out of my eyes and stray COVID droplets. A few other things like that. And it just snaps right off in the back here. While we're in the back, this is another thing I added. I like to be highly visible. Oh, great. There we go. So I had this flashing while I'm riding in addition to this thing flashing down here. These things are rechargeable and last for, I don't know, 4 rides or so, the kinds of rides that I do. If I am carrying additional stuff, I had to get this kind of rack to work with this kind of pop-off bag from Ibera. I was a little concerned about whether the Ortlieb bags that I had modified for the bigger, originally they would have fit this perfectly, but it turns out they fit in here just fine. There's the bottom hook attachment. I think if I fiddled with it, I'd be able to make it work, but I had some of these bendable things, for lack of a better term, and just made my own little hook, and it just works great. And while I'm down here, we like to bring our dog with us occasionally. He's okay with being in the cart, but this is the cart attachment for it. For this particular bike, I had to do some drilling so it fit over the bolt. It's just a through hole in this piece right here. And then I had to do some grinding to allow this extra large nut to go in. I could have gotten a different nut, but I have some of the grinding tools and it fits perfectly now. It works great. The original Rad bike is great, but I wanted more power coming off of stop signs and stoplights. So I got this, I think it's a 35 amp. I got it from Electro Bike World. Bolton Bike sells them as well. It's an upgraded controller, and it provides more watts to this thing than the regular controller does. I really like that. This is, of all the things that I'm going to show you here, this is one where it was kind of like, wow, that made a big difference. The next step I could take is to change out the motor from the 750 watt, which was really a 500 watt, up to a real 750 watt. But then I think the boost I would get with that, coupled with the drain on the battery, it wouldn't be worth it to me. I'm getting more than enough extra power with this. I'm not looking for a speed machine, just some help from stops and from big hills. The other thing I got was Cloud9 seat. I think the stock seat was pretty comfortable, but I wanted to try something that was a little bit softer for longer rides. This is a little bit better, but it wasn't a giant change. But this is one of the Cloud9 seats. What I was a little surprised about was there's lots of different styles, but since I'm a guy, I got the vented in the center seat. It works out pretty good. The other thing I noticed is that maybe because of my height or the way my body's set up, I'm 6'1", about 70 years old, and about 250 pounds. I'm working on the weight. But there really wasn't enough room compared to what I'm used to between the seat and the stem. So 2 things I did is I raised the stem so I could ride with a more upright position with a kit for that, which was 2 things. It was a stem riser and this kind of adjustable stem, I guess stem extender. But I needed the seat to go back further, and I found out that there are these setback posts, and they can bring you back 40 millimeters. So this is very comfortable for me right now. I put a skid plate in there, and now I feel a little bit better about protecting all the wires and stuff. I put in this special bracket. I forget the name of the place that makes it, Denver something. And it allowed me to put a bottle holder up here. I could put a second one. I also have a thing that I designed in my 3D printer I can put here for putting 360 camera on a telescoping pole. All right, I already talked about the juiced horn. I experiment with a couple of different mirrors. I like the ones on the back, or on the ends of the handlebars. They stand there fine. They give me lots of visibility. I started with ones like these, which I gave to my wife, and she seems perfectly happy with those. You know, if I was a real responsible reviewer, I'd have the names of all these products. Maybe I'll put that in the description. I don't think I'll be riding much at night, but you know, I was concerned that I might get caught out on a long bike ride, like with a flat or something, and towards the end of the day, and then it might be dark, and this thing provides lots of light. It is Planet Bike Blaze 600 SLX. Okay, so I have another one of these guys up here. I call these my daylight lights. So I run with that flashing as well. Oh, talking about safety, the other thing that I do, so I make sure I'm very visible. So I have this, I actually bought this because we were doing some stuff on the road at one day, but it fits over easy on a warm day. It's very, very well ventilated. It does have a little pocket. I also have this yellow one that I'm too fat to wear right now, but I'll be able to wear it someday. But this one works fine. It's got reflective tape on it, and they're all really inexpensive. My wife and I had real communication issues while riding, so we got these Senna helmets. Let me see what model this is. The R1M, and it does connect with the phone, so you can listen to music, but I really don't do that. It has a light in the back, but it's really only for nighttime. You wouldn't really see it during the day. Large barely fits my head and my wife's head. Had to adjust the thing all the way to the end of the stop. But the best thing about it is it has intercom, and so we can easily be 100 yards or more away from each other, and we can talk to each other. You know, I just fallen down and I can't get up, you know, that sort of stuff. So they come in real handy. This was another bag that I don't use right now that is similar to the one that I got. It's a Arkel, but it didn't really give me as much room as I wanted to have, so that's why I ended up going with the Iberia. I also like the way you could easily pull the stuff off. I also have these really bright yellow gloves that add to the visibility. I guess because I'm a 71-year-old and I want to look as cool as possible. Instead, I think I look more like a dork. I have these cool sunglasses that also, they're magnetic, and it can easily pop off and put regular shades on there. I keep some of my more important tools up here. This is really handy to have. But I use this at least once or twice a week. When it gets colder, I'll be able to use these cool but too expensive leather gloves. I'm a big fan of Citizen Cycle. I think that's his YouTube channel. He does really good reviews and everything, and he had a pair of this. He has the special color, but I can't wait till it gets colder so I can wear that. They're motorcycle gloves, but you know, that's kind of like a motorcycle. I also got this cargo net. I've used that a couple times when I want to carry something that is bigger than this can handle, and it works pretty good. This is a Thule easy fold bike rack that can easily hold 2 Rad Rovers on a 2-inch hitch on our Subaru. It comes with ramps and works great. The bikes are a little close when you put them up there, and so we have to put a rag or something between a couple areas that rub, but we've had that on some rougher roads, and it did just great. That's the dog cart that's folded up on the side, and its wheels. So that's probably enough. I'm loving this bike. Oh yeah, hold on. I have a bicycle, a phone thing here that I use sometimes when I want to be following myself on the map. And I got this extension bar. I got to rethink where this is at because it kind of hides this new color display that came with the Electro Bike World 34 amp controller. But the other thing I did is I printed out because I do 3D printing, I printed out a nice little throttle, and I find that much easier than continually going like this when I'm riding. Don't know why, but it's easier. You know, future upgrades, at some point maybe hydraulic brakes, although the brakes seem to be doing what they're supposed to do. I have a previous video that talks about some free rider shoes. You know, I was thinking of maybe getting different pedals, but with those shoes that works great on these pedals, I guess that's it.